are looking for a new car. You want something fast but comfortable, elegant yet aggressive. Where are you going to look? What car brands fit that criteria? Maybe some brands like Porsche, Audi, Mercedes. Hey, wait a minute. Aren't those all German? Why, yeah, they are. Well, a couple of days ago, I was sitting there thinking about, what German car brand is my favorite? Well, if you've ever thought about that, in today's video, we're going to look at the best German car manufacturer, bar none. And if you want to see my favorite German car, then stick around to the end. I promise you, it's not what you think. So before we really get into this, I'm going to give some criteria. First off, it needs to be a full OEM. None of this Brabus or Alpina or Maybach type stuff. They have to make completely original cars. So brands like the ones I said just a second ago are not included because what they do is they modify upon already existing cars, not create new ones. Well, they say first is the worst, and in this case, it really is true. My least favorite German car manufacturer is Smart Car. And I'll tell you why here. First off, their cars are ugly. They look terrible, especially the Smart Roadster. It's just so bad. Like, yeah, sure, they're eco-friendly, but they are hideous and they're not fun to drive. So why on earth would anybody get one of these? Well, unless you really want to look out for the environment while having something that's somewhere close to luxury, Smart is a terrible brand. In all honesty, it really doesn't even belong on this list. It's that bad. And they tried fixing the reputation with the help of Brabus, the manufacturer that hops up Mercedes, but it didn't do much because what they did was they released a $40,000 track-focused Smart Fortwo, which is not a car that should ever be taken to the track. I'm going to be really honest with you, because nobody would enjoy driving one of those. I mean, what is the point of that car? It should not exist. So, like I said earlier, I hate this car. I give it an F. It doesn't even belong on this list. Next up, let's go with Opel. I'm going to give them a D. They're not really offensive, but there's not anything cool that they make either. I mean, they just kind of exist, and they make your everyday commuter car. They're really not anything to write home about. They're just another branch of GM that's German. So, not really anything exciting from Opel, but they exist. I'll give them a D. Now, next up on this list is Mercedes. There's nothing terrible about Mercedes. Now, especially with the AMG lineup, Mercedes is something special. Most of their cars look good, and they all have some special blood with a 300 SL, which is definitely one of the top 5 greatest cars. So Mercedes is a really cool brand. I would put them higher on this list, but Smart Car is Mercedes' fault, and so they get a B for that. Now, next up on this list is Audi. Now, I love Audi. They have some really cool cars, especially with the RS line. I love the RS4 because it just looks so awesome, especially when it's modded. There's some great wide body kits and they look really good lowered with no other modifications. Plus, they're pretty fast, and I love Euro cars in general. This Audi S4 is exactly what I think of when I think of Euro cars. They also have the Audi R8, and if that car didn't have a V10, to be honest, I would not like it at all because it looks like a supercar. And with the V10, don't get me wrong, it definitely is. With the V8, it just feels like it's trying to pretend to be something that it isn't. But with the V10, it definitely is a supercar. So don't get me wrong, I do think it's cool still. Audi also has some really cool history in rally racing. They've made some really cool cars, especially this Quattro here. Anyway, I would give Audi a B+. They definitely make some cool cars, and it's generally a pretty good brand. Next up on this list is Porsche. They have some really cool history, going back as far as the 1960s with their 356 Speedster. This is the car that Randy Lanier started his career with. If you don't know who he is, I made a great video on him recently, so also go check that out if you get a minute. His story is really interesting. He was a drug lord who beat Porsche's factory team in the IMSA World Championship in the 1980s, so go check that out after this video. I'll put a link in the description. Anyway, they make some great cars like the GT2 and GT3 RS, as well as their Macan and Cayenne. They don't get enough credit. The Macan basically saved Porsche, which thank goodness, because I would be pretty sad if Porsche weren't still around. Hey guys, this is me, Ryan, mid-edit. I'm so sorry, I totally forgot one of the biggest German brands, Volkswagen. So I am so sorry, I did not mean to cut that out of this video. But real quick, I'm just gonna give it a grade right now. I was walking the dog and I realized that I forgot it, so I'm sorry about that. We're all human, so please forgive me. And if you like this video, then yeah, hit it a like. Anyway, I'm gonna give Volkswagen an A, not because they are such a great brand, but because of the brand that they own and that they have resuscitated. So think about Porsche in the early 2000s. Without Volkswagen, they would be nowhere. And Lamborghini, for example. Volkswagen owns Lamborghini, and without them, Lamborghini would be dead right now. So Volkswagen gets an A not because of the cars that they themselves make, but the cars that they pay to produce. So cars such as Lamborghinis, Bugattis, Porsches, and the like. So yeah. Anyway, back to the rest of the video. Now, my second favorite car manufacturer on this list is BMW. Their M cars are really cool, and I just love them. Just hear me out on this. The new M3 and M4 actually look way better than we give them credit for. Yeah, they look like something out of Angry Birds, but that's okay because, first off, in person, they look so much better than the pictures. Trust me, guys, Go see one in person. It'll change your mind on them, I swear to you. They also sound really good and are really fast, so they deserve more credit than we give them. Now, last on this list is Gumpert. Haha, bet you weren't expecting that. Now, Gumpert was made popular in the early 2000s with the Gumpert Apollo, which is one of the coolest cars ever made. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. It was called the world's ugliest car by Jeremy Clarkson, but I really don't think it deserves that title. It's actually a really good looking car in my opinion. It's wide, aggressive, has some cool aero, and is really quick around the track, so I don't see what's not to love about it. It definitely looks like a mid-2000s supercar, but that's what it is. You cannot be too mad at it for being exactly what it is. Now, that was in the past, but today Gumpert is working on a new car, a hydrogen-powered sports car called the Natalia, which is super awesome. I'm excited to see this. It looks insane, and to be honest, there really aren't very many other sports cars like it out there. I mean, I can't think of a single hydrogen sports car off the top of my head. So I think this might go well for Gumpert. It might be their foot in the door to the automotive world. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. It's been awesome giving my opinions on this. Love you guys. Catch you next time.